When we were in primary school, we used to read from the books of history about the first person to discover Mount Kenya was so and so. The first person to discover Mount Kilimanjaro was so and so. The first person to discover Victoria Falls was so and so. It was quite exciting to remember the first people who did something. Then as we progressed and we read more, we started querying, why being first? Were there no other people living near those mountains? Then we realized that these were the first explorers from Europe who saw these things first. And we celebrated them. So indeed, what we need to say is the first among equals. Because as you have seen, the name first is subjective. It depends on what you mean by first. So let us ask ourselves, among ourselves, who do you think of being the first person? Who was the first person maybe to do medicine in your village? Who was the first person to be an engineer in your village? Who was the first person to be a quantity surveyor, for example, in your family? Who was the first person you know of to be an architect in your village? Let's go wider. Who do you think was the first person or the first female to be a quantity surveyor in Kenya? This is interesting. Quantity surveying is a profession whereby in the building sector, these are the people who do the mathematics, they are the accountants and lawyers, so to speak, in the building sector. So it's quite an interesting career. But who was the first female to be a quantity surveyor in Kenya? What led her to that profession? Who was the influencer that convinced her that indeed this is a good profession? Did she obey when she went into university or the institution where she went to study quantity surveying? How did she find the environment? How was the practice after graduation? Is she still practicing? Would she still encourage young girls to do quantity surveying and to be professional quantity surveyors? These are the questions we want to explore. So from here, I want to go and find out. I want to know who was the first female quantity surveyor in Kenya. And when I get hold of her, I'll be excited for her to answer those questions. So just stay tuned. When I get hold of her and she answers those questions, I'll be back. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Nice to see you.
Pleasure.
Tell us your name.
My name is Leah Thumbi.
Leah Thumbi.
Yes.
What do you do? Who is Leah Thumbi?
Leah Thumbi is a professional. She's a quantity surveyor. Practicing quantity surveyor.
Wow. Tell us about your journey as a quantity surveyor. Yeah. When did it start? What are the milestones? What is unique about Leah Thumbi?
Yeah. I got interested when I was in Form 6, when we were choosing our careers, and I was introduced to quantity surveying by my brother. I didn't know much about it because he was an architect, and I took interest when we talked about. I know what was going on, and I decided to choose it as my profession, and I was able to get space in Nairobi University.
Wow. Tell us, how was there another lady, female, before you?
I'm the first lady. I can say I'm the first lady conservator in Kenya. I was alone in a class of men, and it was a surprise for me. I didn't know there were no other ladies before, but I was able to cope with the men classmates or year mates. And they were very supportive.
Wow. And how is the profession after you finished? Are there professional
exams or interviews or anything you need to do so that you become a professional QS?
Yes. After finishing university after 3 years, you have to practice at a qualified surveyor, qualified for 2 years, so that you can be able to do professional exams, so that you can also practice after that, or you progress after that. I was able to do that within 3 years, and I became a practicing surveyor, though I was employed.
Wow. So you worked in the government or private sector, or you are self-employed? Just tell us briefly.
Yeah, I started in the government. That time we only had one ministry employing surveyors, and that was called Ministry of Works. I worked there for 20 years.
Wow.
Before I ventured into private practice.
Wow. Are you still practicing as a quantity surveyor there?
Yes, I'm still practicing.
Wow.
And it's quite interesting.
What would you tell the young girls who would want to do quantity surveying?
It's a very interesting career because it's one of those careers, since we deal with, we are accountants and lawyers for the buildings. Joined together with the architects and engineers. It's very interesting because once you do one building and it's completed, you don't get bored because you go to a completely different building and you keep on learning and experiencing with different kind of professionals.
Wow, thank you so much, Leah. We have met, I feel very privileged to meet the first female quantity surveyor. Here we are, cheers. You celebrate.
Thank you so
Cheers.
much. I have no regrets.
I am back. I went out to seek for the first female quantity surveyor in Kenya. My search was very successful. I was able to meet the first female quantity surveyor in Kenya, none other than Madam Leah Thombe. Madam Leah Thombe was the first female quantity surveyor in Kenya. Wow, I had a chance to meet with her, and she said that she was in Limuru Girls School. Congratulations, Limuru Girls, for producing the first female quantity surveyor in Kenya went to Limuru Girls School. Madam Leah Thombe, we are very proud of you. Limuru Girls School, you better know you have produced a first. Well done, and keep it going, keep it going. Leah Thombe decided to do her quantity surveying course when she was in Form 6 at Limuru Girls. She was inspired by her brother, who was an architect, who encouraged her to apply for that course. She obeyed her brother. She had the faith. She was in a good school. Her teachers encouraged her because she was good in mathematics. And she was admitted to the University of Nairobi to study a course in quantity surveying. To her surprise, she says that she was the only girl among men. That surprised her. However, she continued, and the men and the classmates were very, very supportive. Thank you, classmates of Leah Thombe, for being supportive. Leah Thombe was able to finish successfully, and she continued to be attached to a qualified quantity surveyor, where she was registered as a professional quantity surveyor. She says that she worked in Kenya government, Ministry of Works, for 20 years, after which she ventured into private practice. We are very proud of Leah Thombe, the first female quantity surveyor in Kenya. She is actively practicing quantity surveying. She encourages young girls to venture into this career. It's a very exciting career because we are the building construction project. The quantity surveyor, popularly known as the QS, is both the accountant and the lawyer on that project. What an exciting thing. And each project is unique in itself. Leah Thombe, keep going. You still love the practice. We are together. We love you. We look forward to you. We feel inspired. Where are the girls from Limuru Girls? Where are you? Celebrate. You are fast. You are great. Limuru Girls,
you produced the first female quantity surveyor in Kenya. We are very proud of you. In faith, fight. In faith, we go. That is the motto of Limuru Girls. Well done, Limuru Girls School. Keep going. We are proud of you. Lea Thombe, keep going. We celebrate you. We are very proud of you. We'll be back to see whether the other schools which have produced first among equals. Let's keep watching.